Hello and welcome to my world in a casual review. This is part 2 of the 2.0 or 2.01 version of my review for Cyberpunk 2077, which was posted to my YouTube channel here a couple of weeks ago, but was recorded back in September. This is being recorded in mid-October. So again, full disclaimer and everything on when and how I do things. So when I did the initial review for Cyberpunk 2077, it was based on 95% of my playthrough, roughly being under the 1.6, 1.65 version of the game, and then the 2.0 version update happened on September 21st. I finished the game on September 23rd. So that update really marred my opinion. It left a sour taste in my mouth because that update happened right when I was nearly finished the game. So it meant that I didn't really have enough time to acclimate myself to all the changes. Because the Phantom Liberty content didn't come out till what, September 25th, 26th, somewhere there's about. So there was like kind of that big problem there. It was like, okay, all you got the new mechanics being introduced into the game, but the actual content that's actually going to give me time to experience and play it doesn't come out till after I was finishing the game, the original version of the game, or at least again the 1.6, 1.65 version of it. So so with that said, I started the Phantom Liberty content, started going through it like about a week later, back on the 30th of September, and I finished that all up on October 14th. And I can safely say having the additional roughly about 25 to 30ish hours of additional content to actually acclimate myself to the vehicle combat, to the auto fixers like car purchase system, as well as how to quick hacks and build different and perks. I can safely see it all worked out a lot better having more time to play it in that regard. One of my biggest gripes was the fact I couldn't do like my quick hack combos. Uh, and I didn't discover until after getting into the Phantom Liberty stuff, that those the quick hack combos that I was preferring to use, you need to enter what is called overclock mode, hitting LB and RB on the bumper buttons on an Xbox controller to initiate it, and then you can just like, oh, okay, I can detonate grenades on multiple enemies if they're in an area, which is quite a lot of fun to do. Uh, actually. So once I got used to that, it definitely worked out a lot better. But again, at the time when my original review was done, I didn't have enough time to acclimate myself to it. So again, it's kind of like that weirdness there. The other big thing that was added with the 2.0 and Phantom Liberty update was vehicle combat. I kind of take it or leave it. It's really tied more to the vehicle retrievals for Mr. For El Capitan, which also solves a big problem that with Cyberpunk had, which was there was like no reoccurring missions or stuff to do. There is an achievement in the game called Auto Jock where you have to purchase every single vehicle in the game. And if you look at every like guide of how to do it, they was talking about how well you're going to have to get yourself crafting materials and craft weapons and sell them off. You're going to do like a vehicle, item cloning and all sorts of like bugs and glitches, exploits. The vehicle retrieval thing works on so many levels. One, you get a nice set of rewards from El Capitan for every vehicle you turn in. Plus, you get a freaking discount on purchasing the vehicles that you need to buy to grind for that achievement. Sometimes, and depending if you're doing how many of those vehicle retrieval missions you do in a row, you can get a discount that's like about 30 to 50% off. which makes it a hell of a lot easier to do. Um, so that grind of having to item cloning, excessive crafting, and selling of stuff off is like that's basically done away with. Keep in mind, I did have like something like about I want to say about 55% of the vehicles purchased at the end of my initial playthrough. So those changes definitely positive, and so forth. Now let's talk about the Phantom Liberty content in and of itself. One of the big things I like, it does add like something. The one fixer you don't really interact with in the base game was Mr. Hands, so you do get to interact with him a lot more. He gives you a nice variety of missions. Matter of fact, there are a lot more. His missions are a lot more detailed than all the other fixer related ones as you go around the city. Uh, but none of them really take advantage of a lot of the gimmicks. Like, okay, try to avoid combat. It's like his missions are not as varied in comparison to the others. Again, these are the side gig missions I'm referring to. And apparently you're supposed to get a vehicle as a reward for doing his missions, but for me that mission glitched for whatever reason. It's like after you do all of his gigs, it totally glitched out because it kind of I don't know how or why it glitched, but it did. I couldn't get the vehicle that was supposed to be the reward for doing all of his side gigs. Got the achievement for completing all the Dogtown gigs, but did not get the vehicle reward. Oh well. Uh, the main story of Phantom Liberty starts off with a bang. Everything is like the whole line of "Are you a bad enough merc to go and save the president?" There's that's certainly a thing, and he certainly starts off on a big, like at a high intense action sequence, like running through Dogtown. Everything with the Chimera boss fight, rescue President Myers. That is a hell of a lot of fun. Then you get bogged down into the rather dialogue heavy narrative of it, and it's kind of hit or miss with me, especially in regards to how it tries to present. It's like there are no good choices there that fit the overall narrative of Cyberpunk that fits within. It definitely feels like it's being tacked on. Now, if this was supposed to be part of the initial game release, it definitely didn't work. Um, it, it 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 certainly screams of trying to fit the mindset of players, because I'm going to assume that the developers have be able to pull data, statistical data, to see what choices were done and to try. It really, that's what it is. It feels like it's trying to appeal to all the different versions of the main story narrative and like endings and choices that players around the world have made, that I'm assuming the developers have access to. Because if BioWare was able to pull like statistical data based on like the Mass Effect Legendary Edition to give statistics on how many players did certain choices or took certain actions, I'm going to assume the CD Red folks have that same statistical data. So everything that about Phantom Liberty's story kind of feels like it's designed to fit like the majority of how people played Cyberpunk 2077. And for me, the narrative doesn't quite work based on like all the choices and things that I've done with V over the course of my journey my journey of playing the game. That said, the only choice and thing that kind of worked and fit everything else is, sending Songbird to the moon. Um, But even then, there are 5 possible endings to unlock through the Phantom Liberty content. Uh, 2 of which are tied to taking Songbird to the lunar airport. One is send her up to the moon that way. The other is choosing to give her to Reed at the last possible minute. Then there's a one based around it's like the taking down of Kurt Hansen, where it's like, okay, you can betray Songbird there or betray Reed there. And one gets put you on the chat again. One ends up involving chasing Songbird. Apparently, I didn't do that choice, so I don't know. And the other one is you're escaping with her again, and that puts you on the path to getting to the to the lunar airport and the aforementioned choices. And I guess depending on other choices and factors based on like choices on how you handle dialogue, you get another ending that where has V. V is cured, but she ends up not being just turned into your typical mundane, normal Night City citizen, like being a virtual nobody, which actually goes against the everything that was said about V and the journey of becoming a Night City legend, and almost is a betrayal of all the ideals that you essentially established with Jackie at the very beginning of the game. So it's like, again, so for me, the one ending that fits everything else is like you get Songbird, you send her to the moon. There's the freedom, let the bird fly free, and that itself works with the with the last ending I actually needed for the from the base game, which was the Pan Am Nomad ending, and V essentially being free and having choosing to live out the rest of their days to their fullest. So again, that for me, that's the only way the Phantom Liberty narrative works with everything else in the game that I have seen. So now the re-evaluation. Would I play Cyberpunk 2077 again at this point? No, I'm pretty satisfied and content with my overall playthrough. The only reason I have at this point to play it again is just to do the achievements for get the remaining 4 achievements that are ending base for Phantom Liberty, and I'm not really interested in playing that portion of the game again, going through everything and trying to remember, okay, where are the decision points. I save constantly when I play, but I don't think I put any saves anywhere near those proper decision points to want to go back and play them. It's not like you have with the ending of the base game where you actually have that point of no return warning. With Phantom Liberty, you don't get that, and it kind of makes those ending achievements, real fucking pointless in that regard. So it's overall, I enjoyed my 117-hour journey through Cyberpunk 2077. It's like it was certainly a trip, but yeah, I have no reason to play it again. Particularly since there is no new game plus mode where I can have everything carry over and just tear through the story. If that was the case, that would definitely that would certainly make it more appealing. But that kind of is what it is. So with that said, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And tighten your friendship bracelets. Stay safe. We'll see y'all in the next video.